And so consider this from generation to generation, that none who hope in heaven shall fail in strength. Do not fear the words of sinners, for their glory ends in corruption and worms. Today exalted, tomorrow not to be found. They have returned to dust. Their schemes have perished. Children, be courageous and strong in keeping the law, for by it you shall be honored. So religious persecution. Crisis and response. 1 Maccabees 1. So, first Maccabees can be divided as follow: crisis and response 1 1 2 through 70. Leadership of Judas. Maccabees 3 1 9 22. Leadership of Jonathan 9 23 12 53. Leadership of Simon 13 1 16 24. And that's chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. The first and second books of Maccabees, though regarded by Jews and Protestants as apocryphal, i.e., not inspired scripture, because not contained in the Jewish list of books drawn up at the end of the 1st century AD, have always been accepted by Catholic Church as expired and are called Deuterocanonical to indicate that they are canonical, even though disputed by some. So could be saying crisis. Crisis and response, chapter 1. From Alexander to Antioch. After Alexander the Macedonian, Philip's son, who came from the land of Kitium, had defeated Darius, king of the Persians and Medes. He became king in his place, having first ruled in Greece. He fought many battles, captured fortresses, and put the kings of the earth to death. He advanced to the ends of the earth, gathering plunder from many nations. The earth fell silent before him, and his heart became proud and arrogant. He collected a very strong army and won dominion over provinces, nations, and rulers, and they paid him tribute. But after all this, he took to his bed, realizing that he was going to die. So he summoned his noblest officers, who had been brought up with him from his youth, and divided his kingdom among them while he was still alive. Alexander had reigned 12 years when he died. So his officers took over his kingdom, each in his own territory. And after his death, they all put on diadems. So did their sons after them for many years, multiplying evils on the earth. There sprang from these a sinful offshoot, Antioch Epiphanes of King Antioch, once a hostage at Rome. He became king in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. Lawless Jews. In those days there appeared in Israel transgressors of the law, who seduced many, saying, "Let us go and make a covenant with the Gentiles all around us, since we separated from them many evils have come upon us." The proposal was agreeable. Some from among the people promptly went to the king, and he authorized them to introduce the ordinance of the Gentiles. Thereupon they built a gymnasium in Jerusalem according to the Gentile custom. They disguised their circumcision and abandoned the holy covenant. They allied themselves with the Gentiles and sold themselves to wrongdoing. Antioch in Egypt. And when his kingdom seemed secure, Antioch undertook to become king of the land of Egypt and to rule over both kingdoms. He invaded Egypt with a strong force, with chariots, elephants, and cavalry, and with a large fleet, to make war on Ptolemy, king of Egypt. Ptolemy was frightened at his presence and fled, and many were wounded and fell dead. The fortified cities in the land of Egypt were captured, and Antiochus plundered the land of Egypt. Robbery of the temple. And after Antiochus had defeated Egypt in the 143rd year, he returned and went up against Israel and against Jerusalem with a strong force. He insolently entered the sanctuary and took away the golden altar, the lampstand for the light with all its utensils, the offering table, the cups and bowls, the gold censers, and the curtains, the cornices, and the golden ornament on the facade of the temple. He stripped it all off, and he took away the silver and gold and the precious vessels. He also took all the hidden treasures he could find. Taking all this, he went back to his own country. He shed much blood and spoke with great arrogance. And there was great mourning throughout all Israel, and the rulers and the elders groaned. Young women and men languished, and the beauty of the women faded. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, while the bride sitting in her chamber mourned, and the land quaked on account of its inhabitants, and all the house of Jacob was clothed with shame. Attack and occupation. 2 years later, the king sent the Magian commander to the cities of Judah, and he came to Jerusalem with a strong force. He spoke to them deceitfully in peaceful terms, and they believed him. Then he attacked the city suddenly in a great onslaught and destroyed many of the people in Israel. He plundered the city and set fire to it, demolished its houses and its surrounding walls, and they took captive the women and children and seized the animals. Then they built up the city of David with a high, strong wall and strong towers, and it became their citadel. There they installed a sinful race, transgressors of the law, who fortified themselves inside it. They stored up weapons and provisions, depositing there the plunder they had collected from Jerusalem, and they became a great snare. The citadel became an ambush against the sanctuary and a wicked adversary to Israel at all times. They shed innocent blood around the sanctuary. They defiled the sanctuary. Because of them, the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled away. She became the abode of strangers. She became a stranger to her own offspring, and her children forsook her. Her sanctuary became desolate as a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbath to shame, her honor to contempt. As her glory had been, so great was her dishonor. Her exaltation was turned into mourning, religious persecution. Then the king wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people and abandon their particular customs. All the Gentiles conformed to the command of the king, and many Israelites delighted in his religion. They sacrificed to idols and profaned the Sabbath. The king sent letters by messengers to Jerusalem and to the cities of Judah, ordering them to follow customs foreign to their land, to prohibit burnt offerings, sacrifices, and libations in the sanctuary, to profane the Sabbath and feast days, to desecrate the sanctuary and the sacred ministers, to build pagan altars and temples and shrines, to sacrifice swine and unclean animals, to leave their sons uncircumcised, and to defile themselves with every kind of impurity and abomination. so that they might forget the law and change all its ordinance. Whoever refused to act according to the command of the king was to be put to death. H. And words such as these he wrote to his whole kingdom. He appointed inspectors over all the people, and he ordered the cities of Judah to offer sacrifices, each city in turn. Many of the people, those who abandoned the law, joined them and committed evil in the land. They drove Israel into hiding wherever places of refuge could be found. And on the 15th day of the month, Kislev, in the year 145, the king erected the desolation abominations upon the altar of burnt offerings. And in the surrounding cities of Judah, they built pagan altars. They also burnt incense at the doors of houses as in the streets. Any scrolls of the law that they found, they tore up and burned. Whoever was found with the scroll of the covenant and whoever observed the law was condemned to death by royal decree. So they used their power against Israel, against those who were caught each month in the cities. And on the 25th day of each month, they sacrificed on the pagan altar that was over the altar of burnt offerings. In keeping with the decree, they put to death women who had their children circumcised, and they hung their babies from their necks. Their families also, and those who had circumcised them, were killed. But many in Israel were determined and resolved in their hearts not to eat anything unclean. They preferred to die rather than to be defiled with food or to profane the holy covenant. And they did die. And very great wrath came upon Israel. 1 Maccabees 2, chapter 2. Mattathias and his sons. In those days, Mattathias, son of John, son of Simeon, a priest of the family of Joadab, left Jerusalem and settled in Modian. He had 5 sons: John, who was called Gadi; Simon, who was called Thasi; Judas, who was called Maccabees; Eliezer, who was called Avalon; and Jonathan, who was called Aphias. And when he saw the sacrilege that were being committed in Judah and in Jerusalem, he said, "Woe is me! Why was I born to see the ruin of my people, the ruin of the holy city, to dwell there, as it was given into the hands of enemies, the sanctuary into the hands of strangers? Her temple has become like a man disgraced, her glorious vessel carried off as spoils." Her infants murdered in her streets, her youth by the sword of the enemy. P or something. What nation has not taken its share of her realm and laid its hand on her spoils? All her adornment has been taken away. Once free, she has become a slave. We see our sanctuary laid waste, our beauty, our glory. The Gentiles have defiled them. Why are we still alive? Then Mattathias and his sons tore their garments, put on sackcloth, and mourned bitterly. Pagan worship refused and resisted. The officers of the king in charge of enforcing the apostasy came to the city of Modian to make them sacrifice. Many of Israel joined them, but Mattathias and his sons drew together. Then the officers of the king addressed Mattathias, "You are a leader, an honorable and great man in this city, supported by sons and kindred. Come now and be the first to obey the king's command, as all the Gentiles and Judeans and those who are left in Jerusalem have done. Then you and your sons shall be numbered among the king's friends, and you and your sons shall be honored with silver and gold and many gifts. But Mattathias answered in a loud voice, although all the Gentiles in the king's realm obeyed him, so that they forsake the religion of their ancestors and consent to the king's order, yet I and my sons and my kindred will keep to the covenant of our ancestors. Heaven forbid that we should forsake the law and the commandments. We will not obey the words of the king by departing from our religion in the slightest degree. As he finished saying these words, a certain Jew came forward in the sight of all to offer sacrifice on the altar in Modian according to the king's order. When Mattathias saw him, he was filled with zeal. His heart was moved, and his just fury was aroused. He sprang forward and killed him upon the altar. And the same time he also killed the messenger of the king who was forcing them to sacrifice, and he tore down the altar. Thus he showed his zeal for the law, just as Phinehas did with Zimri, son of Salu. Then Mattathias cried out in the city, "Let everyone who is zealous for the law and who stands by the covenant follow me." Then he and his sons fled to the mountains, leaving behind in the city all their possessions. And at that time, many who sought righteousness and justice went out into the wilderness to settle there, they and their children, their wives, and their animals, because misfortunes pressed so hard on them. It was reported to the officers and soldiers to the king who were in the city of David in Jerusalem that those who had flouted the king's order had gone out to secret refuges in the wilderness. Many hurried out after them and had caught up with them, camped opposite, and prepared to attack them on the Sabbath. The pursuers said to them, "Enough of this! Come out and obey the king's command, and you will live." But they replied, "We will not come out, nor will we obey the king's command to profane the Sabbath." Then the enemy attacked them at once, but they did not retaliate. They neither threw stones nor blocked up their secret refuges. They said, "Let us all die in innocence, heaven and earth, as our witnesses that you destroy us unjustly." So the officers and soldiers attacked them on the Sabbath, and they died with their wives, their children, and their animals, to the number of 1,000 persons. And when Mattathias and his friends heard of it, they mourned deeply for them, and they said to one another, "If we all do as our kindred have done, and do not fight against the Gentiles for our lives and our laws, they will soon destroy us from the earth." So on that day they came to this decision: let us fight against anyone who attacks us on the Sabbath, so that we may not all die as our kindred died in their secret refuges. Then they were joined by a group of Hasidians, mighty warriors of Israel, all of them devoted to the law. And all those who were fleeing from the persecutions joined them and supported them. And they gathered an army and struck down sinners in their wrath and the lawless in their anger, and the survivors fled to the Gentiles for safety. Mattathias and his friends went about and tore down the pagan altars. They also forcibly circumcised any uncircumcised boys whom they found in the territory of Israel. They put to flight the arrogant, and the work prospered in their hands. They saved the law from the hands of the Gentiles and of the kings, and did not let the sinner triumph. So did not let the sinners win. Farewell of Mattathias. And when the time came for Mattathias to die, he said to his son, "Arrogance and scorn have now grown strong. It is a time of disaster and violent wrath. Therefore, my children, be zealous for the law and give your lives for the covenant of our ancestors. Remember the deeds that our ancestors did in their times, and you shall win great honor and an everlasting name. Was not Abraham found faithful in trial, and it was accredited to him as righteousness? Joseph, when in distress, kept the commandment, and he became master of Egypt. Phinehas, our ancestor, for his burning zeal, received the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. Joshua, for executing his commission, became a judge in Israel. Caleb, for bearing witness before the assembly, receiving an inheritance in the land. David, for his loyalty, received as a heritage a throne of eternal kingship. Elijah, for his burning zeal for the law, was taken up to heaven. Hananiah, Azariah, Mishael, for their faith, were saved from the fire. Daniel, for his innocence, was delivered from the mouths of lions. And so, consider this from generation to generation, that none who hope in heaven shall fail in strength. Do not fear the words of sinners, for their glory ends in corruption and worms. Today exalted, tomorrow not to be found. They have returned to dust. Their schemes have perished. Children, be courageous and strong, and keeping the law, for by it you shall be honored. So therefore, repent ye mortals, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So if you do not repent, you will perish, and I am innocent of your blood. For you are the lost sheep, and God says we are to dress in all white as a sign of victory, purity, and Hasidians, which is pious ones, militant religious group devoted to the strict observance of the law, which is mighty warriors. You are the lost sheep, bat, bat, bat. The Creator will take us, bat, bat, bat. And that's when we wear all white. God wants us to wear all white. Pages. Oh, nice. Here is your brother Simeon, who I know is a wise counselor. Listen to him always, and he will be a father to you. And Judas Maccabees, a mighty warrior from his youth, shall be the leader of your army and wage the war against the nations. Gather about you all who observe the law and avenge your people. Pay back the Gentiles what they deserve and observe the precepts of the law. Then he blessed them, and he was gathered to his ancestors. He died in the year of 146, and he was buried in the tombs of his ancestors. Modian and all Israel mourned him greatly. So it's saying we're not to let nobody just beat us. We fight back. That was it. But we don't go around starting stuff. So let us fight against anyone who attacks us on the Sabbath. So, and that was said by Hasidian ones, mighty warriors. We're mighty warriors. So we don't just sit back and let people just beat us. Absolutely not. I like that. Let us fight against anyone who attacks us on the Sabbath, so that we may not all die as our kindred did. Seek refuge. Yep. Leadership of Judas Maccabees. 1 Maccabees 3, chapter 3. Judas and his early victories. Then his son Judas, who was called Maccabees, took his place. All his brothers and all who had joined his father supported him, and they gladly carried on Israel's war. He spread about the glory of his people and put on his breastplate like a giant. He armed himself with weapons of war. He fought battles and protected the camp with his sword. In his deeds, he was like a young lion roaring for prey. He pursued the lawless, hunting them out, and those who troubled his people he destroyed by fire. The lawless were caught by fear of him. All evildoers were dismayed. By his hand, deliverance was happily achieved, and he afflicted many kings. He gave joy to Jacob and his deeds, and his memory is blessed forever. And he went about the cities of Judah, destroying the renegades there. He turned away wrath from Israel, was renowned to the ends of the earth, and gathered together those who were perishing. Then Apollonius gathered together the Gentiles along with a large army from Samaria to fight against Israel. And when Judas learned of it, he went out to meet him and struck and killed him. Many fell wounded, and the rest fled. They took their spoils, and Judas took the sword of Apollonius and fought with it the rest of his life. But Sidon, commander of the Syrian army, heard that Judas had mustered an assembly of faithful men ready for war. So he said, I will make a name for myself and win honor in the kingdom, and I will wage war against Judas and his followers who have despised the king's command. And again, a large company of renegades advanced with him to help him take revenge on the Israelites. And when he reached the ascent of Beth Horon, Judas went out to meet him with a few men. And when they saw the army coming against them, they said to Judas, how can we, few as we are, fight such a strong host as this? Besides, we are weak, since we have not eaten today. But Judas said, many are easily hemmed in by a few. In the sight of heaven, there is no difference between deliverance by many or few by few. For victory in war does not depend upon the size of the army, but on the strength that comes from heaven. With great presumption and lawlessness, they come against us to destroy us and our wives and children, and to despoil us, but we are fighting for our lives and our loss. He will crush them before us, so do not fear them. And when he finished speaking, he rushed suddenly upon Sidon and his army, who were crushed before him. And he pursued Sidon down the descent of Beth Horon and to the plain. About 800 of their men fell, and the rest fled to the land of the Philistines. Then Judas and his brothers began to be feared, and dread fell upon the Gentiles about them. And his fame reached the king, and the Gentiles talked about the battles of Judas, the king's strategy. And when King Antioch heard these reports, he was filled with rage. So he ordered that all the forces of his kingdom be gathered, a very strong army, and he opened his treasury, gave his soldiers a year's pay, and commanded them to be prepared for anything. But then he saw that this exhausted the money in his treasury. Moreover, the tribute from the province was small because of the dissension and distress he had brought upon the land by abolishing the laws which had been in effect from of old. He feared that, as had happened once or twice, he would not have enough for his expenses and for the gifts that he was accustomed to give with a lavish hand, more so than all previous kings. Greatly perplexed, he decided to go to Persia and levy tribute on those provinces, and so raise a large sum of money. And he left Lysias, a noble of royal descent, in the charge of king affairs from the Euphrates River to the frontier of Egypt, and commissioned him to take care of his son Antiochus until his return. He entrusted to him half of his forces and the elephants, and gave him instructions concerning everything he wanted done. As for the inhabitants of Judea and Jerusalem, Lysias was to send an army against them to crush and destroy the power of Israel and the remnant of Jerusalem, and efface their memory from the place. He was to settle foreigners in all their territory and distribute their land by lot. The king took the remaining half of the army and set out from Antioch, his capital, in the year of 147. He crossed the Euphrates River and went through the provinces beyond. Preparation for battle. Lysias chose Bartholomew, son of Dorymenius, and Nicanor and Gorgias, powerful men among the king's friends, and with them he sent 40,000 foot soldiers and 7,000 cavalry to invade and ravage the land of Judah according to the king's orders. Setting out with their whole force, they came and pitched their camp near Emmaus in the plain. And when the merchants of the region heard of their prowess, they came to the camp, bringing a huge sum of silver and gold, along with fetters to buy the Israelites as slaves. A force from Edom and from Philistia joined with them. Judas and his brothers saw that evils had multiplied and that armies were encamped within their territory. They learned of the orders which the king had opened to destroy and utterly wipe out the people. So they said to one another, "Let us raise our people from their ruin and fight for them and for our sanctuary." The assembly gathered together to prepare for battle and to pray and ask for mercy and compassion. Jerusalem was uninhabited, like a wilderness. Not one of her children came in or went out. The sanctuary was trampled on, and foreigners were in the citadel. It was a habitation for Gentiles. Joy had disappeared from Jacob, and the flute and the harp were silent. Okay. Thus they assembled and went to Mizpah near Jerusalem, because formerly at Mizpah there was a place for a prayer for Israel, that they fasted and wore sackcloth. They sprinkled ashes on their heads and tore their garments. They unrolled the scroll of the law, and to learn about things for which the Gentiles consulted the images of their idols. They brought with them the priestly garments and the first fruits and the tithes, and they brought forward the Nazarites who had completed the time of their vows, and they cried aloud to heaven. What shall we do with these, and where shall we take them? For your sanctuary has been trampled on and profaned, and your priests are in mourning and humble. Now the Gentiles are gathered together against us to destroy us, and you know what they plot against us. How shall we be able to resist them unless you help us? Then they blew the trumpets and cried out loudly. After this, Judas appointed officers for the people, over thousands, over hundreds of fifties, over fifties, and over tens. And he proclaimed that those who were building houses or were just married or were planting vineyards, and those who were afraid could each return home according to the law. Then the army moved off, and they camped to the south of Emmaus. Judah said, "Arm yourselves and be brave. In the morning be ready to fight these Gentiles who have assembled against us. to destroy us in our sanctuary. It is better for us to die in battle than to witness the evils befalling our nation in our sanctuary. Whatever is willed in heaven will be done. Victory. Twice. Victory. Victory. So the army of Gentiles is a force, the main force against 12. So they soldiers are main force. And like 3-3, sacrifice 12. Let me see. Mizpah, a place of prayer for Israel, a holy place of great antiquity, 8 miles north and slightly west of Jerusalem. It was here that Samuel began to judge the Israelites, to learn idols, favorable omens for the coming battle. A contrast is intended between the idol worship of the pagans and the consultation of the word of God by the Jews. 2 Maccabees 8:23. Nazarites, number 6. So the army of Gentiles. You, it says Sully, so monster or beast or something, and they could be saying, oh, you ugly, or you're saying with umbrellas, umpire, uncle, under, up. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's up. So a monster, a little monster or something, Sully. About FBI allegedly DNA, dental records, bodies, flight, Sully. That's a movie right there called Sully. A captain. There it goes. Sully. That's a movie called Sully. Let me see. Sully. Third person presents Sully's past tense. So what does it mean? Let's see. Damage the purity or integrity of, defile. They were outraged that anyone should sully their good name. Injure, damage, opposite of purify. Taint, defile, soil, tarnish, stain, blemish, besmirch, befoul, dishonor, disgrace, make impure, spot, mar, spoil, pollute, contaminate, injure, damage. So that's what they do to what is pure, purify. So they'll be like, oh, take out the trash. Someone that's reading the Bible and praying, take out the trash. Maybe they do that to children and babies and stuff. So you can get beasts, monsters. Because little children and babies are innocent and pure and sacred, and it could be people that tarnish it, contaminate, injure, damage, dishonor, disgrace, make impure. Sully like, oh, you're ugly, oh, you're fat, oh, you're this, oh, you're that, oh, shut about, oh, you're trash, oh, brokey, oh, you got no money, you po. They always speak down to, like, I don't know, to make you feel blemished or disgrace or dishonor or humiliate or something. That's what they do. If they're not saying nothing positive about you or about me, then I don't care what they say. Don't even listen to it, because who gives a crap? God don't look at me in none of those ways. God don't call me none of those things. So everything God be saying, you are the lost sheep, bat. So who gives a crap? It don't matter what size I am, skinny, medium, fat, somebody gonna have something to say. It don't matter. No matter how I look, what's going on, somebody's gonna have something to say about it. So live your life, your best life. And no matter if you're doing good or bad, or if you're good or bad, people are going to talk about you. So, don't worry about it. It is what it is. Are they supposed to be some bloodthirsty sharks? Or agent 7, or whatever agent number they are. They're bloodthirsty sharks. So when they be pulling up in their vehicles or whatever, or however they roll up, they're bloodthirsty sharks. Oh God, it's terrible. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark, do 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 do. So they baby sharks. Baby shark, mama shark, daddy shark, grandpa shark, daddy shark, uncle shark. They all sharks. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark, do 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 do. Okay. So this is a king with some type of weapon. Spider-Man, or Widow, Black Widow. They're trying to get paid some money, life insurance or something. And this is what they just put in the mail. $100,000. So they lurking around, trying to do a setup. Even these old ladies involved too, grandmas, great grandmas, old ladies, they involved too. Yep, men and women, couples. They trying to get a blood sacrifice or something. Chicken, hen, or something, nest. And then there's a little kid. The kids too. Asian ones. And that's the truth. I guess they're just leading them astray because even the ones on the skateboards, the ones that are walking. Giraffe rides with laugh, staff, calf, graph, half, cut off. And 5-0. You appreciate the value of a great oop. Bow moving. B. So something like tree, fee, he, key. Then take away the key. Me, knee. Oh, you're not gonna have a leg to stand on. Knee, pee. C, T, we, she, glee, spree, shopping spree, ski. Book your vacations. So this was showing like they're all like supposed to be some sharks or something. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark, do 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 do. That's what I'm showing. Deuces. Number 2, a car. Maybe they're getting bribed with a luxury car, a nice car or something. So they're all around like hungry, ready to eat, cook, barbecue, baby sharks, bloodthirsty. That's what it's showing. That's what I'm getting. That's what I hear. And some by Spanish, even if they don't speak it in English, same thing. Because they could be threatening to deport them or something. 88. That's what I'm getting into Spanish too. Dirty money, dishonest gain. I guess they promising them fame and fortune to become a star or something. Wealth, fame, and fortune. You want to become a star? A superstar? You want to be a entertainer or a rapper or celebrity? You be a star. Fame and fortune. A better life. That's what I'm showing. So, anything else? Yep. Because there's some unalive girls, some dead girls, and dogs. Like, feed them to the dogs, dog food. And they're all Stingray. They're all watching on some Stingray or Fish app. Yep. Death of some girls. Yeah, they want them all to be snakes. But then there's 3 dead. So they want them to be snakes, but I don't know. Those are 3 death coming in 3s as well. Of these snakes, slithering snakes, 33, and these lions. Because there's somebody here. Of these snakes. It's like a warrior. And then death. I guess they're aiming ready to shoot or something, but it's something there. With an arrow, something. With a feather. It's like a warrior or something. He got a feather. And then something might happen supernatural. And caution. It's something there. A warrior. Hero. Alpha. King. Diamonds. Shield. I don't know what the heck they got going on. Ninjas. Because they like pizza or something. Underground, under tunnel pizza. But they're being watched by some Hasidians, mighty warriors. And their pizza. Underground or under tunnel pizza. Pizza at $6.99. Something like that. And maybe something they've been doing with little children or something. Or little girls. And dogs. And someone is like into animals and little kids. Little girls and dogs. That's what's coming up. A rose, and like this is what the heck is that? Is that a castle or something? They're dead. Something about some dogs. Dog food or feed them to the dogs or something. They sacrifice people to be a star. They sacrifice women. These are ladies or girls or princesses. You see them? It's shadow people. These some ladies. They could be rich ladies that had like a mansion or something, or somebody got a house or something. It's like royalty. These are rich ladies. Or somebody got some money or something. These are rich people. Maybe they like girls. Maybe they do orders of, oh, I need a blonde with green eyes, and I need a blonde with blue eyes, and I need a red hair with blue eyes. They like a scout or something. And you see it as a castle or something, or a clubhouse, or a penthouse, or something. Little kids. Someone will order boys too. A page of wands. I don't know. It's bigger than me. Allegedly. Anything else? It's crazy. Caution. Snake. Watch out for the snakes. And the sharks. And the crabs. This, when this crab come out, this is, normally a crab is a man and he's stingy. He's not generous. He's stingy. He came back up, a dirty king crab. And he has a gun or something. He has a weapon, he has a gun. And something not right about him. Horn. A red car. Or, something. 13 a rat. Somebody a bag. A rack with a microphone and a bag or something. A new bag. They just, every time I speak the truth, they be like, oh, you're right. They could be looking at people as ducks. Dogs and children as ducks. And someone is watching through, like, I don't know if it's the phone or the something. They're watching. Whatever I'm watching, they're watching it too. That's what it's showing. If I'm looking at my phone or something, or the camera, they're looking too, and they're like, oh, you're ugly. I'm like, yep. Oh, ugly. Yep. I'll be that. 3. But God says, don't worry about what they say. You just keep on reading that Bible. Don't worry about what they say. You're a princess to God. Beautiful little princess. Don't worry about what they say. Because you're the one, you with the pink feathers. You're loved by heavenly beings. And they don't look at me as no rat or no ugly or nothing. They look at me as a little princess. Keep reading the Bible. Don't worry about it. Not none of those things to God. Because there's some angel in disguise. An ancestor or something. With a white feather. He's some type of warrior. So no worries. Hakuna Matata means no worries. For the rest of your days. Hakuna Matata. And I guess it said X. Letter X and 1. X the beast. Let me see if there's anything else. Someone might be trying to call collect. Someone might be trying to call collect. You have a collect call. Send a message. Someone might be trying to send a message or get in contact with you or me or something. Collect call. So if you need to put money on the phone or get collect calls or something, or check out, find out if someone's locked up or something, or I don't know, someone's trying to get in contact. Check on your family or your people or your children or somebody. Make sure everybody all right, because someone's trying to get in contact with you or with me. And it could be trying to be called collect from jail or prison or something. A kite, sending a message through a kite. 6, 7. Yeah. That's what I get. Someone trying to get in contact. I feel like it could be your child or something, or your parent or something. Page of Pentacles. Could be a baby, a father or a baby father or somebody. Check it. It's a child. Could be I don't know, someone trying to get in contact with somebody. But be careful, because it's something going on. I don't know why these snakes keep showing up. Like the letter P and a bunch of snakes. So if there's an offer coming or something, don't trust it, because they're trying to get paid. These snakes. It's a dirty offer, and they're trying to get life insurance. So this could even be children trying to get paid, because people be trying to get their body done and stuff and go shopping and have a better life. So beware of this dirty offer that's coming. It's a dirty offer. It's a setup. Yep. This is just a setup. Snakes. They trying to get money. Yep. It's showing like it could even be your children. It could be the children trying to get paid, so they dead. Allegedly. They're waging war. Yep. They're trying to have a better life. So in life, give you lemons, make lemonade. Caution. Caution, beware of some type of dirty offers. The offer is a setup. There's nothing but snakes around. And sharks looking for blood, because there's something going on. They like pizza. The main ones that be talking about pizza. Joker, clowns, evil clowns, ninjas. It just shows like it's a bunch of snakes. Frog, ribbit, fish. Bluefish. Yep, that's what I'm saying. Get paid, get rich or die trying. They could be mocking, like, yup, that's true. Yup, how did you know that? That's why you ain't got no tape. Like, oh, you're a rat. They all look at me and my psychic readings as being a rat or a sitting duck. But they're all watching now and they're spying. So in the end, just know that's an offer and they're all trying to get paid. So if you don't have life insurance, get you some. And this is a good place to go to or just look around. But yeah, it's $100,000 on the line. Yeah, want it and I want it, dead or alive. So the one with the cat, you're with the cat, you with the cat. Maybe it's time to do your nails or get your nails done or get your hair done or something. Glitter nails. Get your nails done, get your hair done. Anywho, lost sheep. We're all white. I always put the Creator, our God, first. Do not be deceived. Do not be led astray. For the kingdom of heaven is at hand. If you do not repent, you will perish, and I am innocent of your blood. We're all white.